Day 31, podcast number 18. Bit of a catch-up on 3 films that I can remember not having done a review of, and 2 others I think that I can't remember the names of, which I might review if I can remember the names of them. It's a catch-up episode.
This is what I want for the jingle on my podcast. It's going to be called John Bolton's podcast. No, that ain't boss at all. There's no you in Bolton, but I guess that doesn't matter if you're singing it. And I'm a writer. See if you can work that in some way. Basically, just make me sound awesome. Cheers.
So these are 3 films, I haven't remembered the names of the others yet, that I've attempted to watch in the last week. Didn't get around to doing podcast reviews of them, largely because, as you will come to realise in this one, it would have been pointless. The first of them was a film called Anti-Birth. Let me just quickly bring up the synopsis of that. I can't remember. Oh dear, no, that's not it. Oh God, hang on. Right, Anti-Birth is a 2016 American-Canadian psychedelic. I remember it saying psychedelic when I watched it on the Sky Planner. It said psychedelic body horror film. Apparently, it follows a drug-addled woman in a remote Michigan town who becomes pregnant after taking a strange drug. I can't tell you any more than that because I got so bored of it and frankly sick and tired of how awful it was in the first 10-15 minutes that I turned it off and went upstairs and played The Last of Us Factions, which was a much better use of an hour and a half of my time. Can't tell you any more than that. No idea what happened. No interest. Bored the arse off me. Next up, Pay the Ghost. Pay the Ghost. Let me just quickly bring up the details for this one. Nicolas Cage, doing what Nicolas Cage does best, which is acting in films. This is a 2015 American supernatural horror film. Basically, he goes to this thing, like a thing, and his son disappears, and it transpires that ghosts took him or something. And so it's sort of part supernatural film, part detective, I guess. I don't know. It was alright. I mean, we've trodden this ground quite a bit together, as me talking and you listening, presuming anyone is. It was just fine. There was a bit where the kid's scooter kind of tootles into the room with nobody on it and then falls over. That was pretty good. I think that's the first time I've seen a scooter do that in a horror film. That's it, really. It was just fine. Didn't really do anything for me. No interest in watching it again. Remember very little of it. Nicolas Cage was in it. I remember that. That's about it. So that's that. Last up of the 3 that I remember, if any more come to me during the course of this, I will add them on. The Video Dead. Now, to briefly explain, a long time ago I became quite fixated on 80s horror films and began collecting them on VHS. I consider VHS to be quite an important piece of social history because, kids now have no knowledge of going out to a video rental shop and renting a video and having to run it back and not being really able to skip the trailers short of fast forwarding through them and all that sort of thing. And that's sort of a lost piece of our heritage, and that saddens me. Box art on VHS horror films was always brilliant, particularly 80s ones. Often these were kind of like, hand-drawn paintings of things rather than just simply photos of the cast or whatever. That's interesting to me. Of course, there was a whole Video Nasties thing. I had planned originally to do a podcast of me watching basically all of the Video Nasties, at least basically all the ones that were banned. I think there's 60 odd or something, or 37. And doing a little sort of review of what I thought of it, and if I could understand why it was banned. I'd even thought about playing around with it a bit and maybe trying to guess why it was banned before then reading up on it to find out. probably can't be bothered to do that because, frankly, the only one I've tried to watch was terrible. Oh, that was one of the ones I was going to do a review of. I'll come back to that. Good. Okay, that's 4. That's a good catch-up. That's good. And so the whole thing about them, some of them being banned and stuff, because before certification, films could just be rented and you could just go out and rent it and watch it and stuff, and there was no kind of policing of that. And then it all kind of blew up in the 80s, and the Video Recordings Act in 1984, I think it was brought in. After which time, all films that were released on video had to be went before the BBFC and had to be certificated, and therefore could be cut and stuff. And so it's quite interesting to understand that all happened, and to try and think of a time when actually you could go to your local video shop or newsagents or whoever else was renting tapes and just rent something that kind of nobody had checked it or anything. You could watch anything, which is part of the reason why I was so annoyed when I came to watch one of the video nasties the other night, because frankly it should have been banned and stayed banned. So that's interesting, and so you can buy sort of pre-certs of videotapes, which are the films before they were trimmed by the BBFC. And the Video Dead was one of the ones, the cover of which I particularly liked, because it was really good and it looked like such a cool, cheesy but cool 80s horror flick. And I thought, you know what, now is the best time to try and sit through and watch this, and then I can offer my thoughts with people. So the concept is that this guy gets a TV delivered to him, which is haunted or something, and it sort of starts playing this, I don't know what you call it, it's a bit like Swamp Thing, I guess, kind of black and white horror thing with zombies and stuff in it. And anyway, they all start coming out of the telly, and hilarity ensues. It would be hard pushed, I think, to think of a less well acted film. The cast, all of the cast, were atrocious. The makeup was dismal, but that was fine because you didn't expect anything better. What of it I remember was all right. I admit I did fall asleep, like I do with most things. I can't think how many films I've not seen the end of that I've had to review. Yeah, it was all right. Did the job. I quite like the music in places. Don't think there's a soundtrack, annoyingly. Yeah, it was just all right. Another one of them. Just fine. Actually, to be honest, it was crap. The cover really did belie the awfulness of what lay beneath. Total waste of time. Cool cover though. Can't say anything for the cover of the other one I remembered watching, which was Don't Go in the Woods. Don't Go in the Woods, 1981. It was banned under the Video Nasties umbrella of films that we were deemed too sensitive to watch. It was deemed to be Video Nasty, and was banned. I'm just looking now to see if I can figure out why it was banned. Doesn't say anything on here about it. I guess because of gore and stuff. The thing that I took away from it, the thing that's interesting is, in order to remember which film it was exactly from the list of the banned, because there were 3 categories of video nasties: ones that were banned, ones that were prosecuted but not banned, and then ones that were sort of looked at but not prosecuted. And this is one of the ones that was banned. And but I can't remember which one it was I watched. Maybe it had something to do with woods. So I had a quick look on Wikipedia, found the one I thought it was, quickly did a YouTube check. You can watch the film on YouTube. No vetting of any description. So, in the space of 20, 30 years, we've gone from nearly 40 years. Jesus. Gone from a film that was taken off the market because it was judged by the powers that be too much for us, for our sensibilities to be able to tolerate. And now it's on YouTube and you can just watch it. I would urge you not to. It was banned, from what I can gather, on the basis of gore and violence and probably swearing and stuff. The reason it should have been banned is because it was crap. The acting was awful. The direction, I'm assuming there was somebody present when it was being filmed telling people what to do and where to stand and how it should be filmed and stuff, but there was no evidence of that in what I saw. I managed about 15 minutes before I thought, you know what, what am I doing with my life? Why am I sat here watching this atrocious film that the government has already tried to remove from the world and failed, because it's, I think you can buy it on Blu-ray and stuff now. God, why you'd buy this on Blu-ray? Yeah, oh God, it's all coming back to me now. I remember talking about it the next day. Yeah, it cost $20,000, right? And there was a scene quite early on in a police car, and my take on it was that hiring of that police car probably cost $20,000, because believe me, no money was spent on anything else. Unless they had to rent the woods it was filmed in. I mean, it looked like it was filmed on a potato, so I don't think there was anything lost there. Just dismal. If that's what I can expect from Video Nasties, then my plan to watch all of them is pretty much going to fall at the first hurdle, because if they're as bad as this, there is literally no point. Don't go in the woods, or watch it, would be my advice.
Come back soon for the next episode of John Bolton's podcast. What horror movie will he be reviewing? Who knows? Who cares?